be having 7 confessions of a retired software engineer from Trust Onyekwere.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to try my best to make it 10 minutes. Yeah. So it actually took me 2 weeks and a few days to finalize the topic for my talk today. And 7 confessions of retired software engineer made more sense than the other topics I had. So my name is Onyekwere. I manage software projects at Bootcamp. I also manage run tech education programs with Mastering Backend. And I've written a book for developers called Code is Not Enough. So you can follow me at I am Tija at Twitter. So these are confessions that are not like mistakes that I made while starting out 6 years ago. And I talked to a few of my friends who are engineers, currently stable engineers working remotely and on-site. And they gave me their own mistakes that they did as well. And so I'm putting them together into 7 confessions. So if you're a beginner, an intermediate, or even an expert, you can find out 7 of these mistakes that you can avoid or try to correct while you're starting on your journey. So the first is that I was a jack of all trades, master of none. So my tech journey started when I saw the first season of Nikita 6 years ago, and a CIA cell was hacked by terrorists. And they had to call some guy called Abdul to come and fix the CIA cell that was hacked. And of course, you know how those guys do. They came in with their equipment and started tapping, all those kind of things. And the screen was going, and 2 minutes he fixed the screens. And I loved what he did. And I was like, whatever that guy did, I want to do it. And I started researching, around programming. I started doing Java, Python, C#, JavaScript. I did almost everything you can think of. And 1 year, I was doing so many things that I can't really hold on to one thing. And that was bad, because tech was too sweet for me at the time. So how can you do better? To correct this mistake that I did, you have to start with one. All right? Tech is sweet, different things, programming, design, whatever. Start with one. If you like what you see in what... Please, those at the back, please, calm down, please. We are trying to pay attention here. Thank you. Please. So start with one, focus with one. If you like what you see, master it and try again. Master it and become good at it. But if you don't like it, pick one and try. But don't take everything at the same time. It won't work fine with you. The second is I failed to market myself early on. And this is like one of the big mistakes for most people in tech. We're doing amazing stuff, but we don't put it out there. Yes, you learn about social currencies. And you have so many projects on your laptop, but it doesn't get out there in public. That was a mistake for me, because I had people who were 6 months. I was like 2 years Android engineer. And we had people who were 6 months getting opportunities that I could not get, because I wasn't putting my stuff online. So market yourself early on. How can you do better? Carry your market on your head. Sell your skills seamlessly. Talk about it on Twitter. Write about it on your status. Just put it out there. Carry your market for head. Market from day one. Those of us who are going to start bootcamps very soon, maybe trying to go into old school and all that, it's 9 months. But your career does not start after 9 months. It starts, the first day training starts. So you learn HTML, CSS, put it out there. You learn, you have 9 months. Let's say, for example, you start learning front-end development, right? HTML, CSS, document it online. So when you're done in 9 months, you have 9 months worth of marketing content online and you do what you want to do. So when you wait until 9 months before you start marketing, it will really make sense. So let everyone know what you do, your family. So if your mother and your father and your uncles can explain to somebody else what you do clearly, you've won the game. And that is why you need to market yourself to everybody you can. So I was blown away by the tech bridge. The tech bridge was so strong. And to explain what this means, let's imagine this is Zine, for example, right? Let's imagine a character called Zine. So Zine started in last year, June. Zine started doing, he read an article called AI is the Future. And Zine moved over to AI development. 3 months into AI, he was going through YouTube and saw a YouTube video titled, Cloud Computing is the Future. Start there right now, he switched to cloud computing. Last June, he attended DevFest in November last year. And one of the speakers was talking about how he got his first $1,000 as a technical writer. Before the event ended, Zine changed his Twitter bio to technical writer in training. 8 days into 2022, Zine went over to doing NFT because it was the boss on Twitter. February is about to end. February has ended. This is Zine thinking about his life in tech, because he has done so many things and getting frustrated. And he's thinking if NFT is for him. I was like Zine 6 years ago, and I was doing everything on my part. So how can you do better? Don't be like Zine. Be like Sabinus in the picture. Focus, right? Stay focused on your path. Filter the noise online. Twitter is so noisy. Everybody's an expert on Twitter. But don't follow the noise online. Stick to your path. Follow communities that are close to your path. So for example, if you're on Twitter, someone will post a car and say, blockchain got me this car. And you want to move to blockchain. And someone posts the house, say, JavaScript got me this house, I want to move to JavaScript. No, that's not the way to go. So filter the noise online and join communities that are focused to your path. Because if you're a designer, you join designer communities, and someone in the design community says, Figma got me this car. It motivates you to keep doing design, because that's where your path is. So stay focused. Don't be like Zane, be like Sabinus, right? I failed to introduce myself very well. If I am to ask, us, most developers in the room, what do you do? Most likely your answer is going to be any of this. I'm a software developer, I'm a Python developer, I build software, I write code. These answers are not bad, they're good, but it doesn't really tell exactly what you do. Because Python, for example, can do AI, can use it for backend development, for penetration testing, and so many other things. So when you say you're a Python developer, the question now comes, okay, so what do you do with Python, right? So we need to specifically tell what we do, not just saying software development because it's so large and broad. So how can you do better? Narrow down to what you do. So if you're a Java developer, do you use Java for Android? If yes, say you're an Android developer, and we'll get to understand what you do clearly. Remove jargon from your introduction, speak very well clearly. Like I said, if your father, your mother, all those elderly people can tell what you do clearly, you've won the game, right? So remove jargons and don't tell what you're not. So I wish I knew the fifth confession is that I wish I knew the power of building products. Because products makes you move out of the tutorial hell because you're learning over and over again. So the point to take from this confession is do not do projects only, do products. Because products put your software or things you've built into the hands of people to use. Because when you build working software, for example, I'm a developer, you want to learn, probably, okay, let's use, for example, JavaScript people, right? So I want to learn React by building an e-commerce project. That's a project, it's fine. But go beyond projects to products. So people get to use your product, you get feedback, you edit. That's what makes you a good engineer, building product, not just projects in this context. So copy existing solutions, find solutions on, either a web developer, search for solutions, Android guys, go to Google Play Store, find solutions, copy and paste, and just build your skills. And probably the products you build will likely get you a job. So just a question, a story very quickly. A friend of mine was building, during the pandemic, was building a teleconferencing app called Tiki. Very funny, Tiki, right? So he wrote about it on Medium, and a startup who was building, so startup reached out to him and said, we love your article. We are building something similar. I would love you to come join our team to add this teleconferencing feature into our applications. And he got the job, right? So products are the best way to grow and get opportunities as well. Of course, open source around products, not just projects. So I forgot personal branding, right? To bring into more context, the sixth before the last confession is this. We are supposed to deliver an Android project. We want to assign someone to build an Android project. And so we had, we're going to call her Jira in this conversation. Jira is her name. So we have 4 committee members. The first person said, let's give this Android project to Jira. And the second committee member said, Jira, which of the Jira? Jira, now you are a designer. Why want to give him this Android project? The third committee member was like, which of the Jira they talk about now? Jira. Jira will speak for dev first, GDG person, yes now, yeah? She's an AI developer now. I see her Medium article, AI, TensorFlow, which can be AUI and Android again. The last committee was like, calm down. This Jira, maybe Jira Simeon. Simeon, our project manager now. You know, see waiting she write for her. Go to our WhatsApp now. We go see say now project manager work they do. Jira has a personal branding problem. We don't know what Jira does because she's doing everything at the same time. She's saying she's expert in AI, UI, Android, project management. That could be a trap most times. So how can you do better? So personal branding, remember, is what people talk about you when you're not in the room, right? So you have to, don't position yourself as what you're not. So blockchain now is very, getting more awareness. So if you're not doing blockchain now, don't say you're a blockchain person yet. You can probably say, I'm a JavaScript developer, passionate about blockchain, that's fine, but don't call yourself a blockchain person if you're not yet doing blockchain, because that's misleading. So personal branding, don't be in silence. If you're an Android person, push Android and show what you're doing, that's fine. The last confession is my favorite one because it's very critical. Don't be afraid, like a lesson and a confession at the same time. So don't be afraid to switch careers within tech. For the fact that coding was the first thing you started out with doesn't mean you have to end in coding. There are developers who are struggling with code, not because it's hard, because coding is not working for them. So what do? Try to switch, right? Try something else. You're building software for 2 years, not working, try something else. Tech is very sweet. You must not be the one coding the product. You can be the one designing the product. You could manage the product. You could market the product. You could support the product. Because as far as you're doing product stuff, not really coding, you're part of product development. And I think it's a lot easier now because back then we had this misconception that coding was the only tech career available. So some guys I knew back then, we are scared to leave coding because they felt like if you stop coding, you're no longer part of tech. And they're scared to leave tech. But now the story is quite changed. You've got a lot of sweeter spaces, education about non-coding careers in tech, and it's a lot finer. Because I've seen engineers who move from coding to become great product managers, great design people, great technical writers, tech educators. So if code is not working for you, not because it's hard, because it doesn't connect to your personality, try and switch. Try something else, and perhaps that thing you switch to could probably your break point at that point in time. Yeah, so thank you very much for my talk. And thank you very much, John.